Well, hello and welcome to the Strategy Room interview series. I'm your host, Pete Lawson, and today I'm joined by Machen McDonald. Now, Machen's been in the game of coaching for 20 plus years. He is CEO of Pro Brilliance Leadership Institute, and most of Machen's coaching these days is with business owners and business leaders, CEOs, etc., the people that are right at the top of the tree. So, Machen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks,
And
Pete.
can we kick off by telling us what you do, who you are, and a little bit about your journey from where you started your coaching thoughts and what have you to where you sit in the chair that you sit in right now?
Wow, great question. I'll go back to right before I got into coaching. I was in financial services, working with financial advisors, helping them to grow their practices and doing what I thought was coaching back then, which it really was more consulting, if you will. And then I actually got certified as a life coach and took some courses on business coaching and learned that what I was doing wasn't really coaching. So I shifted a bit. And then our company got acquired by another financial services firms, and it kind of caused me to have the opportunity to go out on my own eventually. And so I hung out a shingle called Pro Brilliance Leadership Institute about 20 years ago, and my phone started ringing with people that were part of that merger that landed elsewhere, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. And through helping those advisors, they would introduce me to their business clients, and then I would share with those business owners different things that they could do to grow their business, accelerate their success, and bring a little more happiness into their world. And I've written a couple books along the way, and that's what I'm doing now, is just coaching business owners and CEOs.
Okay, so in your coaching practice, how do you define success?
In my coaching practice, how do I define success?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's really a feeling that I'm contributing and that I'm on purpose with my strengths and my talents. And I'm lucky enough to say that throughout the day, I probably have anywhere from 5 to 8 coaching calls with clients a day. And during those calls and at the end of each call, I get confirmation that on a good day, I'm not too bad. They share with me that they're getting value, that they're thankful for the conversations that we're having, and they're getting the traction that they came for.
Okay. So in view of that, can you discuss a significant setback that you've faced and the impact that it had on your approach to coaching?
A setback that I've had in my personal life or business?
Yeah.
Which level do you want to have that conversation?
Well, just let it go. Whatever comes to mind.
Well, I'll go back a ways. When I started to launch my coaching practice, as you can imagine, a lot of time and energy was put into it. And it took time away from my relationship with my wife. And we fell into a pretty hard spot at the time. And I actually refer back to the business being the other woman in our relationship. My wife didn't feel like she was getting enough attention and time. And it really caused a rift in our relationship. And we actually were separated for a short while. We both jumped into doing some pretty deep work individually and together, and we did come back in. And that was about probably 13 years ago, and next month, June, we'll actually be celebrating our 32nd wedding anniversary. So it was getting a little too wrapped up in the business, making it more important and justifying or rationalizing why it was okay to do that at the time. And I've come to realize that there's no success in business that makes up for failure at home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Point taken. Point taken. So going on from there, in your experience, what's the hardest part about being a business coach, and how do you navigate that?
I'd say for me, the hardest part is maybe the marketing and the promotion of it.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say that I'm not good at it because, I've been growing my practice for 20 years, so I
Yeah.
know a thing or two about a thing or two, but it's it's not my um, unique ability or my zone of brilliance. I can do it, I can get
Mm.
results from it, but I would much rather just spend my time coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, all right. So let's have a look at what's the most important lesson you've actually learned from your coaching clients?
The most important lesson I've learned from my
Hmm.
coaching clients. Good question. Um, what comes to my mind, Pete, is Stockdale's paradox, which states we can never afford to lose the faith that it will all work out in the end
Mm-hmm.
while we're dealing with the adversities of what's in front of us right now and having to deal with that. Um, and also alongside of that is um, when people are looking for confidence, they're really looking for courage.
Mm.
Um, this phrase that everybody's talking about these days, imposter syndrome, I think is just really our spidey senses telling us that we're leaning into um, increasing our capacity,
Mm.
right? And it's uncomfortable and it's scary and it doesn't necessarily feel good,
Mm.
but we still have to summon ourselves to take action. That's the courage. So courage doesn't really feel great until it transforms into confidence. That
Yep.
feels good. And I think just that
Mm.
willingness to be in that place is what I've learned from most of my clients.
Okay. That brings me, that's a great segue into my next question, actually, Machen. Um, in your view, what's the key to creating a lasting impact on the lives of your clients? You talked about your own life, but what about the lives of your clients?
Um, I think what I really get is the feedback that I get from my clients, where they're really thankful and they really kind of drop into their heart, is because running an organization, owning a company, it can be very isolating, very lonely at the top, right? They can't
Mm.
necessarily talk to their friends about what they're
Yep.
dealing with. They can't talk to their employees with what they're dealing with. Sometimes, it's they don't want to talk to their family because their family can't really offer. So just the listening and the
Mm.
not having to always have the answer and just letting them percolate and process out loud to get the answer that's already inside of them
Mm.
is a huge gift, and they acknowledge that and they share that, and couple that with the celebrating of their accomplishments, right? Somewhere between our diapers and getting our business cards printed, we forget how to celebrate.
Yeah.
So I like to champion that, so I always tell the clients, when we start our calls, is like, okay, what are we going to celebrate today and what do we need to calibrate? Right? Let's celebrate what works and let's calibrate what needs work. And it's that cycle, and understanding that the clients look forward to that.
That's that's a great way to start a conversation with a coaching client. Um, excellent. So, just one last question. It makes me really interested in this one. Looking back, what was one thing you wish you knew when you began coaching?
I think going back, it's that I don't have to have the answers. There was a long, like for the first probably 5 years or so of coaching, I was kind of freaking myself out in putting myself out there because I thought I had to have, all the answers or being able to navigate that. And as I really learned what coaching is, that it's just holding this safe container for people to process and to bring forth together their best strategic thinking and then challenging them to act on that thinking.
Yep.
And holding them capable to it has given me tremendous freedom. So, in the beginning, I wish I would have figured that out sooner.
Yeah, I think we all go through that phase. You're really not acting as a coach, you're acting as a consultant because you're looking for answers and, looking for you to give the answer instead of looking for the answer in them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something you said earlier too. You're learning to listen to them and let them find the answer is huge. And I'm sure that's made a big impact, Machen. Right, that's it for today. I hope all was okay with you. You're pretty relaxed during that whole process, Machen. But listen, thanks very much for coming on today. It was great learning your entrepreneurial approach and your business approach. And I really enjoyed that. And to everyone watching, I hope you take your hats off to Machen. And Machen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, everybody.
And from wherever you're watching, be it any part of the world, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode of the Strategy Session. Thanks for joining us. See you on the other side.